Hi folks, this is T from Show Me Coasters.
And I'm Tom.
Today we're doing a fun little piece, an early prediction of Six Flags 2019.
So yeah, these are our predictions. These are not set in stone. These are just what we think Six Flags is going to bring to the parks for 2019. We could be pretty close. We could be totally off base.
Yeah, we're going to redo another video probably next month. We have no access to public record yet, so this is just a fun piece.
So last month, in May, Six Flags announced that they had acquired 5 new parks. Wet 'n Wild in Houston, Wet 'n Wild in Phoenix, Darien Lake up in Buffalo, and Frontier City and Whitewater Bay in Oklahoma City. These parks, some of them that they've had associations with Six Flags before, and others are new acquisitions.
We're just going to address the dry park. Well, let's dive into the meat of the discussion. We're going to go west to east. The first park we're going to do is Six Flags Discovery in Vallejo, California, just north of San Francisco. For a population of 4.7 million, this park is on the small side. This is also one of Six Flags' newest acquisition. It didn't become Six Flags till 1999. And in the last few years, this park and Six Flags Fiesta has become Six Flags testing park.
Yeah, over the last 3 years, this park has gotten some pretty good rides. In 2016, they RMC'd the Roar, and now it's called the Joker. In 2017, they got the giant Discovery Disc, Wonder Woman's Lasso of Truth. And this year, they got the new Skywarp coaster, and they call that one the Harley Quinn Crazy Coaster. So the one bad thing about Discovery Kingdom is they have a height restriction, so they can't really build like a hyper coaster or, anything over 150 feet. So really, they're kind of restricted on what they're going to get. I think for 2019, if they really want to jazz up the park really well, their best choice would be like Justice League Battle for Metropolis, the dark ride. Those are very popular, and families that have the smaller kids just love them. The lines will be out the door waiting for it.
I agree with Tom. I think this park needs to round out its lineup, and Battle Metropolis would add a good flat family ride to the park. If you've ever been to this park, it's kind of weird, and it's kind of restricted on space. All the coasters in the front, the marina, and the animals in the back, so it's limited how big a ride they could put in this land without expanding the park like crazy.
So now we're going to talk about Six Flags' premier flagship park, Magic Mountain in Valencia, California, just north of LA. This park is the granddaddy of them all. It has 19 roller coasters, and
it has so many roller coasters that some of them are built onto the parking lot.
Yeah, Scream is called the parking lot coaster.
2015, they got Twisted Colossus. 2016, the Revolution was refurbished. 2017, they had Battle Metropolis. And this year, they got the giant Discovery Disc, Semperla. So, my thought is that Six Flags Magic Mountain, since they expanded the park with the Boardwalk Edition, I think they're going to keep adding to that section of the park. My thing is more flat rides. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see more flat rides, or they could do a water park expansion. The temperature there is
it's hot.
Crazy hot during the summer. Their water park is very popular.
What would they add?
I could see them adding a water coaster like Thunder Rapids, but I would see it more on a
Typhoon Twister,
a record scale.
Yeah, it is
water coaster than
premier park.
Yeah, this is one of their premier parks. That would be a great addition for Magic Mountain, I think, for next year.
Well, they could add to the new boardwalk like Cyborg Cyberspin, or
yeah, they could do that,
or maybe a 500-foot skyscraper. But don't say never.
Right. They could also put over there at the boardwalk. They could put in the Skywarp coaster. I could see that.
That would be
a
that's
addition
a
over there
option.
too.
That would increase their to 20.
Yeah. So that'll conclude for Magic Mountain. The next park we're going to talk about is Six Flags Mexico,
which we never been to. Well, let's look at what they got the last 3 years. In 2016, they have Battle Metropolis. 2017, they had the park built a new Hurricane Harbor for Six Flags Mexico. And last year, they got the 4D free spin.
Yeah, their 4D free spin they call Wonder Woman. It's hard to know. I mean, I've never been to this park, but I would see probably more than likely they're probably going to invest more in the water park since it's newer.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they have to build on top of this Hurricane Harbor. It's a new acquisition. Yeah. My thought it'd be a water ride of some kind.
Yeah, like Typhoon Twister or
Thunder Rapid.
Or Thunder Rapids, maybe. I could see Thunder Rapids going to California more than I could
than Mexico.
Maybe.
But since Six Flags Mexico just got a roller coaster, I think they're in the down year. My thought would be more of a combo like what Six Flags St. Louis got.
Yeah, they do have a lot of flat rides already, so they're not really
the water slide, the bowl and the
the Typhoon Twister would probably be the
bowl and half pipe combination.
Would probably be the most probable. So now we're going to look at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. This is probably their most beautiful park as far as scenery goes, being built in the quarry. They have an incredible lineup of rides, everything that they have there already. I'm not sure how much more that they could really add to it, other than maybe adding a Justice League Dark
Metropolis. This one's a little difficult, but this is one of the few parks that doesn't have this dark ride. I say they're due for Battle Metropolis. I think Six Flags is ready to work with Sally Corp again.
Yeah, because
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think this 2019 be their down year, and this park does need to be rounded out. I think the dark ride would round out the park.
Yeah, and that's still a pretty major investment, though. Those are not cheap. The last 3 years they've gotten the flat ride package in 2016. 2017 they got the water coaster, which I'm really surprised that they haven't really spread that out more and brought that to other hurricane harbors. And then this year they got the new RMC Raptor coaster, Wonder Woman's Golden Lasso.
Yeah.
So this park gets a lot of attention, but it's kind of, you can understand why. It's a really great park.
It's also one of their new acquisitions. I think they got this in 1992. Yeah,
1992. So it's not real new, but it's probably one of the new ones.
They're trying to get that coaster count up for the population of a couple million.
Yeah. So the next park we're going to come to is going to be Six Flags over Texas, the first Six Flags ever. It's hard to say what this park's going to get. The last 3 years, they've gotten a pretty good lineup. This year, they get the new Harley Quinn Spin Sanity.
The new gyro top spin.
Yeah, the gyro top spin. Last year, they got the Joker 4D free spin, and the year before that, they got the flat ride package. It's hard to know what they're going to do. This park is pretty well rounded out. The only thing I could see them doing would be like a water park expansion, but they don't own the water park down there. That's Whitewater. Unless they're going to surprise everyone and build a new Hurricane Harbor.
Like Six Flags over Georgia.
Like they did at Six Flags over Georgia. That I could see. That's always a possibility. The Hurricane Harbors are very popular with everybody, especially if you include it in the price of the ticket.
Well, the other thing I could see, they could, round up the kids' flat ride package. But this park, if you've been there, has a great collection for the little ones. So I really have no idea what they're gonna get. It could be something new completely. I mean, they got what?
They already have an RMC.
13 coasters. So is it 13 or 14?
Their coaster lineup is really strong.
Yeah.
They've got an RMC. They've got a Hyper. They got a great Mine Train, and then they have the usuals. They have the Mr. Freeze, Batman, Pandemonium. They're all included already, so it's hard to know what this park's going to
do. Six Flags probably give them something for the sake of giving every park something. My chance is they could get the Sky Warp, even though they have a Fireball.
I don't know if they have a Fireball or not.
Yeah, I don't think they have the Larson Looper. Yeah, that could be. It doesn't take up much space. Yeah, the new Sky Warp would fit into the park.
So our next park is going to be Frontier City. This is one of the newest acquisitions for Six Flags. They just acquired it this year. They just announced it last month. You won't see theming starting until 2019 or rebranding until then. It has a kind of a weird history with Six Flags. It was owned by Tierco, who turned into Premier, and Premier also then turned into Six Flags Corp after they bought out Six Flags from Warner Brothers.
But this park was never branded as a Six Flags park.
No, it wasn't ever a Six Flags park. It's a very small park. It's in Oklahoma City. It has 4 roller coasters and a collection of flat rides. There is a water park also in the complex. And Six Flags is taking that over too. I think next year we probably won't see much as far as ride expansion here. They already have a Fireball, and they have a steel coaster and a wooden and a couple other smaller coasters.
I could see flat rides like the Giant Discovery by Semperla. That would fit in that open plain of the Midwest. It would stand out.
Yeah, it would. That would
A 200-footer maybe.
Yeah,
but
it would draw, but
it's a very popular ride.
I think for next year, probably what we'll see here is really mostly the rebranding, maybe park cleanup, repainting, refurbishing everything,
It's
making
small.
it all look new.
Small investment, not
Yeah,
like
small
a big
investment.
coaster. But you have
Yeah.
to admit, the population is very sparse over here, so they can't give them a $30 million coaster right off the bat.
Right. Yeah. It'll take a few years before they start doing heavy duty investment in Frontier City, I think. So the next park that we're going to come to is our home park, Six Flags St. Louis. Used to be Six Flags over Mid-America. This year,
We need a lot of things.
we need a lot of things. We always hope for a new coaster.
But
I would be happy with a new RMC Raptor. That would be awesome for St. Louis. I don't think we'll get it, but that's what I do think that we will get a flat ride.
yeah, especially all the flat ride aging and breaking down. 3 of them this year. Summer is half over and we still haven't got it fixed. So
Yeah, I think the best choice that we will get for a flat ride will be the Zamperla Endeavor, the Catwoman's Whip. That'll replace the Highland Fling, which was taken out this year.
well, I hope we get more than one. That for a original park, spend at least a couple million on us.
Yeah,
If
that's-
not, they could do the other option. They could do the 40 free spin with a combination of a couple flat rides.
Yeah, I would. That would be a really nice option for Six Flags St. Louis.
Yeah, but is Six Flag Corporation willing to spend that much money
Yeah.
on our park?
Yeah, we do. We are a moderate,
A small size city park.
a small size city. Our population here is about 4 million, or about 2 million, metro area. But we do get a lot of visitors from out of state. The Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas,
yeah.
Oklahoma, Kansas. A lot of those come to St. Louis to hit a Six Flags. So it'll be interesting to see what we get this year or next year.
But definitely the flat ride do need to be addressed. Corporate has to address all these old flat rides.
Yeah. And now we're coming to one of Six Flags' premier parks, Six Flags Great America. Six Flags acquired this in 1976. It's really one of their babies. This park gets a lot of attention. It's hard to know what to expect for them for 2019.
Six Flags Chicago.
Yeah, Six Flags Great America up in Gurney in Chicago.
What's your thought on this?
I don't know. I'm not even sure what they got this year. Oh, they got the 100-foot Larson Looper this year. It's hard to say. Last year they got the Joker.
I think it's flat ride.
I think we're looking at a flat ride
Right.
combination. They've got the old frisbee disc there, but it faces inward over in the county fair section called Revolution. I think I could see them taking that out and maybe expanding that area.
They can't have a skyscraper; it's too windy.
No, so yeah. They could do like a 245.
The Mondial, the metal.
Yeah, they could do the Mondial,
not the
version,
chain,
and
yeah.
I wouldn't do the chain. I don't think.
not the Starfire.
Yeah, the Starfire would twist too much in the
it's
winds.
too windy.
But yeah, that's a possibility. A skyscraper, a Mondial skyscraper,
Well, I can also see something like the Sky Warp won't take up much blueprint and not a lot of space.
Yeah, but it probably takes up. It's probably got a pretty good footprint. Really, the only place that would really fit would be if they took out V2 and set it in that spot.
No,
That's going to be a pretty wide.
That area behind like X Flight and by American Eagle, you could squeeze in there. There's a lot of space in there. You know where Kitsopolis?
Yeah, I guess you could do that there. Yeah, that would be a pretty unique addition to the park. Also,
I definitely, it's a down year for them. They got 2 coasters back to back, so a flat. Well, that is considered a coaster, isn't it? The Sky Warp.
Yeah, the Sky Warp is
but
considered a coaster. I think
it's not expensive.
But I don't see him putting a Sky Warp in there because they just gave him the Larson Loop. The record holder for the Larson Loop.
Discovery got a Sky Warp and the Larson Loop.
One thing that they could do.
What else is there?
Is they could probably back behind
water park.
Well, they could get a water park expansion. They could use a water park expansion. I think that their water park is kind of lacking. I think.
But you have to remember this park is kind of landlocked, limited in space.
Yeah, but
you can't really expand.
I think
the water park too much without running into the highway there.
Yeah. But I think there's room back there over off of behind X Flight and
by the wooden coaster. Viper.
Yeah, I think you could probably put in a RMC Raptor.
Yeah,
I could see them probably getting.
But they have
Raptor.
a good water park too. This water park is pretty big.
Yeah. I wonder if they did that. I wonder if it would be if they did the RMC Raptor there, if that would be the first park that has 2 RMCs.
Oh, that's true. Right. Let's move to our neighbor to the north, Ronde in Montreal, Canada. This park does not have a DC naming right, so a lot of the rides gotta have these French names. In the last 3 years, 2016 they got our it's called Gravator, but what was it called?
It was called Rush Street Flyer.
Rush Street Flyer, 2017.
It's a Falling Star ride.
Falling Star, and last 2017 they got the giant disc, Semperlo giant disc. And 2018 they got
this year like a Tilt-A-Whirl.
Tilt-A-Whirl, yeah,
a new generation of the Tilt-A-Whirl.
So this one is a little difficult. We look at their roster and they have a lot of things, but since Cobra was removed, and they did clear some of those area near the waterfront. My pick is that it's a Sky Warp.
Yeah, they might get a Sky Warp.
Yeah, Six Flags tends to buy things in bulk. It's Sky Warp or
either Sky Warp or they may get the next RMC Raptor.
Yeah, it's also been Le Monster has been rumored to be RMC, and Six Flags working with RMC again. So I could see, this park as one of the candidates. Six Flags St. Louis was one, and Six Flags America was one that can be candidate for RMC. But Six Flags St. Louis had all these broken flat rides. I don't think they're going to get the Boss RMC this year.
Okay, so now we're going to look at Darien Lake. Darien Lake is a reacquisition. It used to be owned or ran by Six Flags at one time. They just reacquired the operating rights for the the 2019 season. This park is really loaded already with some pretty good rides.
Yeah.
They just got a new roller coaster,
a Eurofighter.
Called Tantrum. That opened this year. I think next year what we'll see mostly is retheming.
Changing over
to all of the Six Flags. I don't know if they'll have the DC naming rights or not at that park. I would imagine so. There was Superman before. Their Ride of Steel. I imagine that'll go back to being Superman Ride of Steel.
If the Six Flags are going to give them anything, it's probably like a flat ride. It looks like they did not have the giant.
I don't think they have the giant disc, giant Discovery disc.
I know that Six Flags buy that in bulk, so that's going to be the new Fireball. It's going to pop up all over the place.
Yeah, I could see that going in there. They already have a Larson Loop already, so it's not. This park is pretty well complete. It's just
for a smaller park, yeah.
For a small park, it's a really good one. So yeah, I think what we're going to see is probably a giant Discovery disc, or and mostly retheming and re-signing.
Some other flat rides that we never seen before.
Yeah, and
they could get like Cyborg.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah,
but they do have a top spin already, I think.
Yeah. So does Great Adventure has 2 top spin.
Yeah. Well, so it'll be interesting to see what they do next year.
Well, let's look at Six Flags' smallest park, Great Escape in
Lake George,
Queensbury, New York. This park, it is sparsely populated. I know roller coaster enthusiasts want to see roller coaster pop up everywhere, but this is just not economically feasible. If they do get a roller coaster, it'd probably be a small one like a Sky Warp. I could see a flat ride like Cyborg Cyberspin, the new top spin gyro that Six Flags Great Adventure had. That would fit here. It's not very expensive.
Yeah, I didn't see if they had a giant Discovery.
Oh yeah, that's another. That would definitely fit here, and that's popular with the public.
I think this park, I think most of its revenue is generated from people actually staying at the lodge.
Yeah, they're known for the water resort.
For the resort.
Than the rides itself.
The park itself. Yeah, I think you're looking at probably another flat ride here. If it is a coaster. 3. I think they'll either do a Larson Loop. I don't know if
they have a Larson Loop.
They have a Larson Loop. Then probably the Sky Warp.
The Sky Warp.
That would be the closest thing to a coaster
the
that
top
they would
spin,
probably give them.
Or the giant disc.
The giant disc, yeah. So yeah, that's going to do it for Lake George. So the next one that we're going to go to is Six Flags New England. Six Flags over the last 3 years, New England has gotten a Fireball, a Joker 40 free spin, and this year they got the new giant Discovery disc, Harley Quinn Spin Sanity. That name is getting repeated just way too much. They need to come up with a new name. I think for 2019.
Might be an off year.
Either it's going to be an off year and they won't get anything except maybe park maintenance and
maybe some kids ride or maybe a water park.
Maybe a water park ride. Expansion. I could see them getting either the Typhoon Twister or the Thunder Rapids.
They haven't addressed that in a while.
Yeah. So
this park, it's underestimated. What do you call it?
Underappreciated.
Underappreciated. It got a great collection. They got 14 roller coasters.
They've got a good collection of rides there. It's
Wicked Twister. Wicked Cyclone.
Wicked Cyclone?
Oh, yeah, that's a great RMC.
Yeah. So they've got their RMC already. So the next park we're going to come to is Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. This is a really great park. It's another one of the premier parks for Six Flags. They got a great coaster lineup and a good collection of flat rides. Plus, it has the safari.
Yeah,
that is really unique.
Six Flags' biggest park.
Yeah, this is Six Flags' largest park. They've had some pretty good additions over the last couple of years. I think for 2019,
they did expand Metropolis section.
Yeah, they added
the old Hollywood
Metropolis
section. Where Cyborg Cyberspin is. I think they could continue adding rides to that section. My pick is that they're going to put the giant Discovery disc over there by San Perla and call it Wonder Woman
Golden Lasso
again, to accompany Cyborg Cyberspin there.
As long as it's not Harley Quinn Spin Sanity, I don't care. But yeah, that's a really good option, I think.
Because Six Flags has bought those in bulk. It's going to pop up everywhere.
So the next park we're looking at is Six Flags America, located
in our nation's capital,
right outside of Washington D.C. in Maryland.
Marlboro, yeah.
Is it Marlboro? Yeah, Marlboro, Maryland. This is actually a really fun little park, but the big problem with this park is the roller coasters are all really dated. They're really old. They got Superman Ride of Steel. That's a great coaster. That's probably the best in their lineup. For the next year,
this is one of the park that is a candidate for RMC since Six Flags is working with them again, but I don't think that's going to happen. Their flat ride collection is not great. It's barely anything. The last 3 years they got They got
They got the water ride last year, new Lazy River.
the Lazy River. The year before, they got the Starfire. I don't know what they got in
I
2016.
think the Fireball. That didn't look that old.
Yeah, so I would say the Giant discovered this would add. It would add, the skyline to this park. It needs tall rides, and Voodoo Drop does not count at 140 feet.
Right. It is kind of. They are kind of short on rides there.
The park needs to address the flat ride collection here.
So that's going to bring us to Six Flags over Georgia. This is the last park that we're going to review on this video. This is the second Six Flags ever built. This last year they had the RMC of
Georgia Cyclone.
Georgia Cyclone. Now it's called Twisted Cyclone. Last year they got Battle for Metropolis.
2017 they got Battle Metropolis.
And then
16 they have a flat ride package.
2016 they got a flat ride package. I think for 2019 you're looking at either a water park expansion, or another flat ride package. Because they could use a Giant Discovery like everyone else.
Or Sky Warp and that gyro top spin like Cyber Spin. Yeah. But I could see, I agree with you. I could see they add something to Hurricane Harbor, that new Hurricane Harbor. They haven't addressed that since it was built.
Yeah, it does. They definitely and due for a new ride there. So that's going to do it for us for today.
I hope you enjoy our video.
And please like and subscribe, and we'll see you at our next tour video from Kings Island.